Hello everyone, my name is Jocelyn, you may call me Joy, and sadly we're still stuck at this topic, so I'm going to approach this slightly differently from my last video addressing this particular question. And I'm going to be reacting to a video that is also called What is a Woman? Only this one has the subtitle Womanhood is a Birthright! Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. And yeah, you'll see that it's kind of a different take from what I had. So I'm going to be watching, reacting to this absolute fucking horror show. Let's get into it. Also, please excuse the fact that I am holding a tablet. I do not have the technological capacity to put it up on screen any other way.
What is a woman? Is a woman a history of achievements quickly being erased?
So, yeah, a couple of trans athletes have made news headlines recently for breaking women's records. That doesn't mean they're erasing women or women athletes. What it means is a couple of trans people have won some awards. Like, out of how many cis women? Out of how many cis women athletes? A handful are being used to scaremonger and fear. And yes, I did pick up on the whole heart, like strings tugging music that they're trying to use. Oh my god, it's fucking annoying to say the least. Trans people cannot choose whether or not they're trans. And some of us would like to do sports. I am not one of them. Should they be banned? I don't think so. Should they be included in the category of women if they are women? Yes. Maybe if you have such a problem with these people who don't have that much of an advantage, but you claim they do, then maybe you want to change the categories. Because it's not self-evident that women have a disadvantage as compared to biological males. No, it really isn't. I would very much be at a disadvantage, even with training and practice, against a lot of cisgender women in sports. That's why I don't do sports and athletics. But the ones who want to should be allowed to. There are rules and guidelines about how long a trans woman has to be suppressing testosterone to limit any kind of advantage that they may have had in the past. And those levels match with cis women's levels of testosterone. Now, it is argued that after having gone through a male puberty, that trans women still have an advantage based on their high bone density and heart size and lung size and all of that. Now you're just nitpicking. Because there's plenty of cis women who are taller than me, have longer bones than me, have better lung capacity than me, and I'm not taking testosterone suppressants. Again, I'm not really an athlete, but the point stands that it doesn't really have that much to do with a male puberty or a male hormone profile. And it's just another excuse to exclude trans women, vilify them, monsterize them, demonize them. But let's continue with the video.
A feminine force of nature. Is a woman a sister, a daughter, a mother?
No, actually. I think most women would actually say that they are more than just a walking incubator. This whole language scaremongering is so ridiculous. Someone who is a woman who has a child can still call herself a mother. The word mother is not outlawed. It is not banned. It is just that more inclusive language that, you know, reflects today's modern society, the fact that there are trans men and non-binary people who can give birth, now just includes everyone. So when you're talking about menstruation, you're not talking about feminine hygiene, you're just talking about menstruation. You're just talking about menstruation products. Same deal with birth. You know, you're talking about someone who gives birth, someone who is pregnant, a pregnant person, a birth giver. Because that could be a woman. Most likely, like statistically speaking, is a woman, is a mother. But not everyone is. Like, some of those people will be trans men, some of those people will be non-binary people. Some of those mothers that you're out there talking about didn't give birth to their children. Because mother is a word that we use for a, like, woman parent, right? Well, what about adoptive mothers? What about foster mothers? What about stepmothers? They're still mothers. And I think that all of those people would, or at least ought to, consider their womanhood as separate from the ability to give birth. Because what about women who have had hysterectomies? What about women who have undergone menopause? What about girls who are too young to be fertile? Like, do they cease being women and girls? No. The point is that mothers are still mothers. The word mother, not outlawed.
Is a woman a caregiver? Is a woman a warrior who fought for her place? Is that now being taken away? Soon to
No.
be forgotten.
Trans women are still fighting for their place in society too. So yeah. If you want to go by that logic, then yeah. Oh, I don't understand what that whole caregiver thing was about. There are men who are caregivers as well.
Is that now being taken away? Soon to be forgotten. Is that not worth protecting? Can you provide a definition for the word woman? Can I provide a definition? Yeah. I can't.
So the thing about Ketanji Brown Jackson, she's a politician. She's not a gender therapist. She's not a gender expert. She's not a transgender person. Delving into that kind of political minefield right now would be a bad move for her. And I've criticised people who have spoken about trans issues, identities, and gender identities who don't have that kind of background. I think she did the right thing there. If she had tacked on an addendum, which, you know, they didn't show here, but if she had said, I'm going to leave that to the gender experts to guide me and everybody else's, like, you know, information, opinions, then that would have been, like, the best. But what she said there was not wrong. Like, just because she can't identify the definition of woman doesn't mean she doesn't know what a woman is. Everybody knows what a woman is. Everybody knows. But defining it is difficult. As I proved with my 20-minute video on trying to define what a woman is.
And how long do we sit idly by and not stand for the sacred
Wrong. Wrong. Okay? There are people out there who can define what woman is. You need to go ask them if you want a real, genuine answer. Bringing up Fallon Fox, again, very disingenuous. The fact that she managed to crack her opponent's skull is unfortunate, but is not the result of the fact that she is transgender. It's the result of the fact that they were doing MMA. How many cis people have cracked each other's skulls doing MMA? I really don't think gender has much of a part of anything there. And then the following headlines were about transgender sex attackers in prisons. Sex attacks in prisons, again, they happen all the time. It's unfortunate. It should be stopped. Like, I'm fully in favour of stopping sex attacks. Like, let's not violate other people. But the fact that the trans people are getting headlines is a dishonest framing of how many sex attacks are happening in prisons, like how many cis people are doing sex attacks against other cis people in prisons, and it doesn't get headlines. Like, let's look at some actual fucking statistics. Like, can you provide any? No, you can't, because you're a fear-mongering, scaremongering fucking propaganda video. Like,
Because we believe that womanhood is a birthright.
you don't want to extend that birthright to people who are assigned male at birth, though, do you? Even though technically it is true that people who are assigned male at birth can, in fact, be women. So that last part, the Egard logo, that is because this video was produced by Egard Watches. The name of the YouTube channel is Egard Watches. The idea here is that this is a watchmaker, like, company. This is kind of like, you remember when Gillette did the whole woke advertising stuff? Well, this is the opposite of that. This is anti-woke advertising. This is speaking to conservatively minded people who disagree with trans people's rights to, you know, self-identify, be ourselves, live, exist. And you do find, you know, some conservatively minded companies like Chick-fil-A or the MyPillow CEO who is completely off the rails. Like, they do happen. They do exist. They do spread messages like this. But I think it's really, really bizarre that this video was made in conjunction by a watchmaking company. And I think it does kind of taint their message and tells you, oh, look, like, here's our real agenda. We want to sell you shit. Me, when I make a video talking about how to define woman, I'm just trying to make the world a better place. A more happy, inclusive place. But anyway, that's enough for today. I'm going to head off to work now and then edit these videos later. So I will see you next time. Non-binary is valid. Trans women are valid. Trans men are valid. Transphobia is not.